Dear lovely human, if you don't know me, my name is Lynz. I write letters about life. I'm a curious soul, and I spend my time wandering around this revolving rock we call home, wondering what makes a life well lived. You can listen to my letters anytime, anywhere, whether you're driving, walking the dog, snuggled on the sofa, or easing into sleep. If you enjoy wandering with me today, there's an invitation to step a little closer in the description. Before I continue, let's take a moment together. Take a deep breath in, and as you let the breath go, soften your body. Allow the breath to be slow and steady. Soften the space between your eyebrows. Drop your shoulders right down away from your ears. Take in one more deep, lazy breath, and then let it go with a sigh. Now, we've arrived. This week, I have been wondering about my relationship with my eldest, Josh. He has this knack of breaking me out of my funk, always has done. But looking back at where we started, he was so much more than that. He was my little tiny anchor when everything else felt like it was crumbling. Josh, also known as Joshua, and Mr. Joshua when he's in trouble, was born in 2002. He popped out, well, not exactly popped. 22 hours of induced labour's not really a pop, is it? I'd gone from a tiny framed 20-year-old to a rather large 21-year-old in those 9 months, mistaking pregnancy for some kind of licence to eat. When he finally popped out, I still looked pretty pregnant, to the point that a friend of my mum's thought I'd stolen a baby in a pram from some unsuspecting stranger just to have a practice driving it. It was a period of my life where I struggled with my mental health. I'd gone from being a busy kitchen manager and an absolute animal for parties, drinks, drugs and dance floors, living in London, to the still, sometimes silent and often screamed-filled surroundings of a new chapter back in my hometown in the Midlands. I had a newborn baby, and I wasn't sure if I had the skills to even keep it alive. Postnatal depression and post-party come-down are a killer combination. I was overweight, overwhelmed, under pressure, trying to be a perfect new mum, and a million miles removed from who I was only 9 months before. So I decided to start antidepressants. Even through the struggle, Josh and I built a bond pretty quickly. A special bond. A musical bond. In those brief moments when I wasn't just a milk machine for the tiny human that spent his waking hours being passed around and cooed at by friends and family, I'd steal him for a feed in a special corner of his bedroom, our musical rocking chair. Every minute we spent alone, I sang to him a lullaby of what I like to call proper music. The most requested, like a newborn can request, were any and all of the Michael Jackson hits. Me, born in the 80s, I adored his music. Every track had been played on repeat via my cassette player and my mum's record player for hours and hours on end during my childhood. I think I must have drove my parents slightly crackers. It was those stolen feeding moments in our musical rocking chair, singing MJ to my baby in arms, that genuinely helped me through the first dark wave of postnatal depression. Oh, and I hate to admit, there was also a little bit of Oasis thrown in there. I've got no idea why, because back in the day, I was definitely Team Blur all the way. Please don't judge. Life often felt like a bit of a blur. One minute I felt like I was wading through treacle, the next running at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Years passed in a blur of tea times, stinky nappies, and over time the arrival of more children. There were many moments of joy, but it was hard sometimes. By 2009, I'd hit another difficult patch, fresh into my new role as a single mum, trying to drag up my 2 boys and my soon-to-be ex-husband's son. Music somehow had been put on pause. Every day we did our best, though most of the time it just felt like we were going through the motions of keeping a functional home, keeping everybody fed, and actively trying to stop 3 young boys from going completely feral. Money was also tight. It got to the point where I ended up scanning my CD collection into Music Magpie, packing up my youth into a cardboard box for pennies, making the teeth-gritting choice to swap my prize Motown, my 90s classics, and of course my Michael Jackson albums for tins of spaghetti hoops and chicken dippers. Do you remember that morning in 2009, lovely human? I do. To me, it's up there with Princess Diana and the Twin Towers. There's just some news headlines we never forget where we are and what we were doing. I will never forget where I was when I heard the news. It started as a normal, manic morning. The kids were doing their feral thing, while I was trying to do everything all at the same time. Definitely unorganised chaos. I was in my bedroom trying to put my socks on in peace. The radio was a background hum as the kids screamed at each other about their socks, or lack of. I heard Michael Jackson's name being mentioned on the radio, which got me very excited as Mum had brought us tickets for his UK tour. Finally, my childhood dreams were going to come true. I don't remember the radio presenter's exact words, how he told the world, and that 7-year-old girl inside of me that Michael had died. I do remember how I felt, how my heart sank, my knees buckled, and my body dropped onto the bed in complete disbelief. I felt like I'd just been punched in the stomach. At that moment, a 7-year-old sockless Josh barged in, ready to grasp on one of his brothers for something. His "Mum, George just..." got caught on his lips as he clocked me trying to wipe the tears away with my sock. Mummy, what's wrong?" I told him Michael Jackson had just died. He had no idea who he was crying for, but bless him for being such a beautiful soul. He just sat with me, and as he sat with me, he cried with me, his little body shuddering along with mine. I squeezed him so tight that I didn't want that moment to end. But that moment sparked something in Josh. Over the following weeks, he became completely obsessed with Michael Jackson. He badgered Mum and I for every CD, every poster, every piece of Jacko memorabilia he could find on the internet. His bedroom quickly became a carbon copy of mine when I was his age. It didn't stop there. He learnt every single word. He mastered the moves, moonwalk and all. Josh turned our living room into a full-scale dance production studio, dragging his two brothers and me into the magic with him. Soon we were all lined up, arms out, claw hands posed. We spent hours together, choreographing thriller routines, 4 of us marching, clawing the air, dancing like zombies in the middle of the front room. Without even knowing it, Josh brought it all back, everything that had been missing. He brought back the sunshine. He brought back the moonlight. He brought back the good times. He brought back the boogie. But most of all, he brought his mum and the household back to life. He's 24 next week, and we still dance together in the kitchen when a good tune comes on. It's how we defunk from a busy, stressful day. And when MJ comes on, you better believe we know all of the dance moves. It's amazing how one little song has brought light into my life on more than one occasion. And thankfully, he's not really an Oasis fan. I'll keep that as my guilty pleasure. As always, thank you for spending time with me. If a friend came to mind while you were listening, please do share this episode with them. It helps more humans feel connected. If you'd like to step a little closer and wander into my world and receive my daily wonders, my soul-hugging letters, the link to join our community is right there in the description. For now, take care of yourself, and I'll catch up with you next week.